My Black African female body has been historically on a collision course with power, with masculinity, with whiteness,
I'm Ayana V Jackson, and this is my current exhibition, Intimate Justice in the Stolen Moment. It is the second exhibition that I've done with Galerie Baudouin Lebon, a gallery with whom I have collaborated with for nearly 7 years. It is the extension of my previous work, Archival Impulse and Poverty Pornography. Intimate Justice in the Stolen Moment was inspired by a project by the similar name, Intimate Justice, by Dr. Shatima Threadcraft. She's a political scientist from the United States who has worked for many years looking at the Black female body and the body politic. In her work, she talks quite a bit about the relationship between the state, and by the state we mean governance in general, although most of her research is on the United States, the relationship between the state and the body and the woman's body. In this exhibition, I wanted to think about the issues in terms of how our bodies have been treated and think about other possible imaginaries. So rather than present the body as a suffering body, as an enslaved body, as a colonized body, I wanted to consider the other moments, those moments when there was relaxation, when there was reprieve. I like to think about the idea as a person who comes from the history of enslavement. I like to think through the fact that to be enslaved is not a permanent state. It is a state of that one is placed within. But there are moments when one's other selves can come through. So through this exhibition, I wanted to specifically look at those stolen moments where one can live and be whole as opposed to captured. When we think about the 19th century Black figure, whether it's in Europe or in the Americas, we are mostly exposed to the ethnographic photographs. We are very rarely exposed to the studio photographs where people would actually step into the studio dressed in their Sunday best, dressed in whatever fashion that they could express at the time and be themselves photographed. Those photographs are in the archives of most Black families. My family, many of my friends' families, and if you ask most kind of Black diasporians, you'll probably find at least one photograph of in situ, in studio. That was for personal consumption, whereas the world more knows the more ethnographic photography that presents a completely different idea of the body. I wanted to switch that and bring the private into the public in order to create other, more dynamic images of what the 19th century Black body was. There are two modes of presentation in this exhibition. You have the static portrait and you have the images that are in motion. The images that are in motion would be the most recent works that I've made in this trajectory of looking at representation of the Black body. And the reason that I wanted to bring motion into the imagery was because at a certain point in thinking through these very difficult, very heavy, very painful histories and moments, even though I'm looking for other ideas, I felt that I needed some weightlessness. I needed gravity to disappear. Again, in that I'm looking at these stolen moments. I found myself imagining those just brief, fleeting, almost non-existent moments when one does feel free, even in captivity.
Ladies of renown, the most renowned is she. In Piccadilly streets so fair a mansion she has got. On golden letters written there, the Venus Hottentot. But you may ask, and well I ween, for why she tarries there.
At the end of the day, the work is a form of visual activism. For me, beyond aesthetics, beyond the paper and the ink and the post-production, it really is about our relationship to the image. It really is about having a certain literacy around imagery. I believe that humanity is done an incredible disservice by placing people in boxes of gender, of race, of geography, of politics. Through that mode of categorization, we create more and more distance from each other. And unfortunately, my medium, the medium of photography, has had a lot to do with that illustration of these particular boxes. I believe it is my job, I believe it is our job as a community, as a human community, to begin to dismantle that, to break down those boxes, to bring us ever closer and closer to each other. It is important for us to be able to see ourselves in each other. And my particular activism here is for me to bring my body, my Black woman's body, closer to you, for you to be able to see yourself in me, in order for us to become closer to each other. Ultimately, that's what this work is about. It is a true activist moment of really, again, bringing bodies closer, experiences closer, playing with our memories, asking us to remember new things, remember other things, remember different things, things that once again highlight the commonalities among us as opposed to the differences.
You can't pick up Black and put it down.